earthquakes occur just on their own from natural forces in the earth. But if humans then inject water into the ground, or perhaps build a large dam that generates a reservoir that adds stress or fluids to the earth, that may set off small earthquakes.
During hydrofracking, water is injected into the ground, and it could be due to direct injection, but that is not very common. But oftentimes the wastewater needs to be re-injected into the crust to be disposed of, and that water can then diffuse and lead to the activation of faults that would otherwise remain inactive. So that type of activity, or places where you have geothermal power plants that you also need to inject fluids and get back the fluids at a warmer temperature to generate power. Anytime that human activity is basically pushing the faults closer to failure and in a way accelerating the seismic clock, the seismic cycle, that we call induced seismicity.
Distinguiamo da una parte i terremoti indotti, che sono sostanzialmente quelli che avvengono esclusivamente per queste variazioni di sforzo che noi induciamo, da terremoti che invece sono comunque naturali e tettonici, ma che possono essere innescati da queste variazioni, ovvero la zona è sismica e le faglie si sarebbe comunque mossa, il terremoto sarebbe comunque avvenuto, ma le piccole variazioni che facciamo hanno avvicinato il tempo di rottura.
In England, for example, most of the seismicity that you see is basically induced because there is very little tectonic forces there.
When we have large snow load or ice load, and then that suddenly get relieved, you kind of depressurize the ground, and that tends to promote earthquake activity. And so that is then induced by changes in loading. We see this close to large mountain ranges. Heavy rainstorms can also influence seismicity. You could say it's a rain-induced seismicity. So there is a number of natural processes that can also induce earthquake activity. And I would call that induced seismicity as well. So it's not only human-induced.